What's good? This is Out on the Limb. Today I'm with Lauren Day. She is from Michigan University, and we never met officially in person. But we're introducing ourselves today, so it's all good. So Lauren, it is nice to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So before, this is how I kind of like to start all my podcasts. Today, what are you vibing to?
All right. I know I'm a little late on this. I don't know why I haven't been listening to him before, but Jack Harlow.
Oh, is it What's Poppin'?
No, I do like that one, but it's the smells like incense. I feel like he's talking to me because I just bought like a 50-pack of incense off Amazon. But he's awesome. I've never paid him any mind, and I think this quarantine has got me just, I think it was like What's Poppin', and then I'm like, oh, I need to listen to all of his stuff, and he's just been like, hey Google, play Jack Harlow on Spotify.
He's I don't think you're late to the party at all. He kind of just started actually popping off like a couple months, like maybe a month or two ago.
Right.
I'd say.
Okay, Google, stop. It actually started. I like him.
Yeah, thank God I have my earphones in. Yeah, that's awesome. No, thank God I have my earphones in because I have a Google thing as well. I would have picked up.
Yeah, my roommate has,
and
hers always listens to me, and mine always listens to her. So.
Oh, so you're at your apartment in Michigan then?
Yeah, I'm still in Ann Arbor.
Oh, so do you live close to Michigan, or like are you just staying up there just for the fun of it?
Yeah, my family's about 40 minutes from here, and I just figured I would finish up classes here. I have a puppy sleeping in the background.
What's his name?
Maisie.
Maisie?
Yeah. But I just figured I'd finish up classes. I have all my groceries here, so I'm chilling for a while, but I might head home soon.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So my song of the day, I don't know if you know it, by Hot Shell Ray. I Like It Like That. I just heard that song. It replayed. It replayed somehow my YouTube music today, and that's kind of what popped up. I was like, sweet. So
also, there's new DaBaby out.
Oh yeah,
Too, yeah.
The bar at Penn State. It's known as Champs. It's like really like the place to be, and like they always play DaBaby.
Don't you miss those days?
What?
Don't you miss those days?
Yeah, you gotta miss all that fun stuff. But I mean, it's the new thing. But so kind of how this fell into place, our little talk. So I was just talking to her. So like she followed me with her podcast. We'll mention that later on. It's called Gameday. And then I followed her, and like I knew she was like kind of into the same stuff as I was. We did BTN Student U, and then I was kind of curious. Like I was like, what is she doing during quarantine life? I was always I just wanted to see like what someone else who kind of has the same like stuff as I'm doing. Like I kind of want to see what they're doing, and that's kind of how this fell into place. And then So introduce yourself. Who is Lauren Day?
Oh geez. This is weird because I'm normally the one asking the questions. I'm not used to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, she has to be.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I am a senior graduating from U of M. Graduating this May. I'm a film, television, and media major and an art and design minor. I actually came into Michigan in the School of Art and Design. And then I ended up taking a couple classes in our production program, and I just fell in love with it. So my sophomore year, I found out about BTN Student U, and it kind of just combined both of my passions. Like I love video production and I love sports. I've played sports my whole life up until college, and I've always felt like that first year without sports, it was just like something was always missing. Attending them was great, and being a fan, of course, is awesome, but I wanted to be more involved, and obviously I can't walk on a Michigan, sports team. So
I'm sure you could.
Hey, you never know. But I joined BTN Student U and kind of just dove right in, fell in love with live production. So that led to more opportunities, more in the entertainment realm, like when I did my work in LA. But yeah, I think that joining BTN Student U definitely changed my career path, and it's just, that's where I found my passion. And now that all of that has been cut short, as you said, I started my podcast. That's something I've been wanting to do since last football season and just never really got around to it. And I've always focused on my work behind the scenes, but I think I'm kind of in a crisis right now because once my opportunities that I did have to be like a sideline reporter or play-by-play or color, I love doing that for fun. And I realized that that's not really something I'm ready to stop yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess if I am to continue doing that, it's going to be the digital platform. I don't have a talent coach. I don't do anything the official way, but I'm down to like do this and have fun with it because there's just so many outlets today. And like, I'm sure you're using YouTube, Instagram, everything is just so easy to get content out there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a hobby, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm sure you're in a weird spot, finding jobs and internship wise. So I don't know exactly where I'll be at the end of this year, but in sports for sure is where I want to go.
Yeah, honestly, this whole quarantine life has been a whole nightmare. It's
Yeah.
I feel like you actually kind of sparked my idea, so I'll give you credit. When you followed the podcast, I was talking to my friend, I was like, that would be a great idea, and that kind of
Yeah.
like, so you're the one who kind of sparked my podcast in a way, but yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to take. I mean, I wouldn't say take advantage because like this is a terrible thing, but like you use this time to your advantage. Like
Right.
do stuff different that you've never done before. So I mean, that's awesome that you're doing that. But how is quarantine life treating you like so far? What else have you found out about yourself or just anything?
I think, like I said, I've been kind of rethinking what I want to do for a career and for, hobbies as we move on, because working here at Michigan, I think I kind of got into a routine of going to class, working with Student U on the weekends, job searching when I get home. But now it's like we have a week left of class and I really have to figure out what I want to be doing. So I think I've just been sitting with my ideas a little bit more. But I'm really just trying to focus on staying connected with friends and family and making it through. It's just such a crazy time. And I've been interviewing a few athletes at Michigan as well. And for the seniors especially, it's just, and I did listen to your past podcast, and it is something all the seniors in the country, we're all going through it together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to do what we're doing and document it because it's going to be a huge part of history, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like people like when we're future adults and parents, hopefully like this literally will be in history books. Like it's gonna be,
I
it's
know.
it's gonna be talked about, and it's crazy how this is forming. But I mean, well, first off, thanks for listening to my last podcast. That was pretty cool. but but yeah, I mean, we're all in the same boat, and so I feel like you gotta use this time wisely. So I really appreciate it. That's really cool. But I kind of want to focus. Well, first off, before to focus in Michigan, how is job searching going? Because like me, it's kind of like so hard. Like it's not relevant right now at all.
Yeah, it's like kind of last on my priority list. I'm just trying to stay sane. But I did the BTN Now program I did apply for. I haven't heard back, but that's still in July.
Yep.
That could be postponed. I was working on a few applications for Fox Sports. Those were closed down. I mean, I don't blame these companies. Their HR is not worried about hiring right now. They've got a lot of stuff to figure out. So I'm just kind of putting it on hold. It stinks because I think I didn't get unemployment or the stimulus check. So we're kind of stuck here financially.
We got kind of screwed. The college students got screwed.
I know, we really did. My student loans are running low.
Yes, big time. I was actually just talking to a producer from a local news station around my area, just because I know her, and she said like literally hiring process is very irrelevant. Like they're not focusing on that at all right now. And
I don't
honestly, and truthfully, I have no idea when that's gonna come back at all. Like it could be the whole summer and nothing.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary, but at the same time, it's a little refreshing. It's like I think of it as like we're like little kids again, and like except we're adults, so like use this time to wisely.
Yeah, true.
But I kind of want to hit on Michigan life because like I mean for me and like probably all my social media, it's all Penn State people. Like so like I don't know, I'm on a different side of like understand other people's like how college is for them. So like well first I'd be talking about how you kind of got into your major and how you got involved with Student U, but I saw that you were when College Gameday came to came to Michigan. How were you involved with that?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite memories, probably of my college career. And we had Desmond Howard coming. It was really cool to just see all the talent. But even just for me to see behind the scenes, because Student U, we have 3 or 4 cameras a game, and we have the graphics, we have the replay, we have all the elements, but just seeing sports production on that large of a scale and being able to go into the production truck and see what they're doing. They have like 30 cameras, like 3 different stages, and the building they built in front of is called the MLB here. It's where our modern language building, and it's near like the Bell Tower, if you've ever seen it.
Okay. Yep.
So it's just cool to see how they built the stage. All these people are, I had to be there at like 5 a.m, and there's already, hundreds of students lined up, like in their sleeping bags in the Michigan freezing cold. So it's just cool to see a full day of a production on that large of a scale. But I was just a production assistant for that, so I didn't have to do too much work. They kind of hooked us up by just kind of teaching us and taking us through the day of setting the stages, what the prep looked like inside the production truck. And then at the end, we got to go up on stage and take a picture at the college game day desk. That was super cool. It was like a job shadowing experience more than work, which I really appreciated that they did for us. So cool.
Yeah, when college game day came to us, I had the opportunity as well to do that. And so everything you explained, it was literally like the same exact thing. Like, it was so cool to see how all that came together. And then I'm sure you loved it because you got, good access in front of everybody who was wanting probably to be up there on that stage.
Oh, and then the people with the signs just like fighting their way to the front to be on TV.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't participate those days, like when they were actually running the show. I wasn't, because there was people lining up at Penn State maybe like 2 or 3 in the morning, and it was so cold. I was like, it's not worth it.
No, I wouldn't have done that either. I'd rather watch the show from home.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Or the Brown Jug, our favorite local bar.
So what is can you, I don't know even know if you can describe Michigan, like I'm trying to think of like the atmosphere. Like, is there a certain way to describe Michigan at all?
I think that I've been to a lot of sporting events at other schools, growing in, even professional sports. I've been to a lot of NFL games, MLB, NBA, mostly in Detroit, which is also a great fan base too.
Yes.
We might not have the best teams. We got great fans. But I can only describe it like it's the most unified feeling. Not even just in the big house, but the streets on game day, there is nothing like it. It's just maize and blue everywhere. The streets are filled, like the streets going up, leading into the big house. It's like you're shoulder to shoulder with people that you don't know, but you all have something in common. And Michigan fans are crazy. They are into it. They are diehard, which I love. You get in that student section, everyone is just all into the game. I know people like to party and tailgate before, but I'm the type that sits there through the game and is screaming at,
That's what I do.
But I don't even know how to describe it. It's just such a fun feeling, even if we're not having the best season or we're kind of down in a slump. I know I can imagine for the team to just come home and play at the big house. It's just, they have a fan base like no other. It's over 100,000 people every game. It's unreal.
It's actually really cool you mentioned that, because I guess every college atmosphere is gonna like say the same thing, but like for you and I, like, you have the biggest stadium and we have the second biggest stadium.
Yeah.
So it's literally like
one thing I will say, I do like the whiteouts at Penn State. I can appreciate that. Your student section really participates.
Oh, you have no idea. I don't know if you guys have a thing at Michigan, but we have a thing called Nittanyville. And like, there's people who, mainly there's the main people who sit out there like before every game day for like a week. So like the week of the game, they'll sit out there for every home game coming up. But I guess, but there is people for whiteout. There's so many people for Nittanyville. Like, everyone flocks there.
What do they do?
They literally just sleep out in the cold and in a tent and just chill. Yeah. And like, sometimes football players will come and like thank them for being there and they'll eat pizza. Like, that's like a whole event. Like, it's insane. But for this specific whiteout, this last one, when Michigan came into town, like, that was probably the most craziest game there was.
I know. I did watch. It's just like, yes, we have maze outs and our shirt that we get with our season tickets normally is maize, so there's no excuse for people not to follow it. But you guys just bring it to another level. I don't know how.
It's I don't know how either, because the last 2 years that I was participating with the whiteout, I was working those days, like with ESPN those days. So like I wasn't in the student section, but those people are crazy. Like I get chills during it. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you, what is the atmosphere like in Michigan? During like big game days, because like I mean, you guys like I said are the biggest stadium there is, and so I feel like it'd be crazy there.
Yeah. As a student, honestly, even if it's a noon game, even if it's a 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. game, people are up at 5 a.m. I can't sleep past 6 out the window. It's just booming music. The parking garages are all completely full. People travel to U of M from all over the state, all over the country, really, for game days. I know some people that are like in California and have season tickets and fly in for every game because that's the kind of alumni that we have. But yeah, it's just the most crowded that you will ever see the city, and people are just going crazy before the games. You walk down Hill Street, which is where like most of the frat houses, and then there's some bars, and it's just filled with people, parents, kids, students, alumni, and you're all there for the same reason. And I know a lot of people, I went to school in Michigan, so a lot of people I went to high school with who are just fans. They'll come up, tailgate at the golf course, won't even go to the game. There's a lot of people that come just to tailgate and don't even go to the game.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, I think the coolest, something that I'll never forget, and I think the thing that I'm going to miss the most is like the walk to the big house. That's probably like the half hour leading up to the game. The streets are everyone's just flooding in, and it's just a sea of maize and blue. It's like it's like a movie.
That is actually really cool.
And
like
the chills, like I don't know about you, but for me as the film student, like I get pumped up with video. We have the best like hype video before our games.
I always want to see another hype video because I always see the Penn States. I'm always like, these are so cool. I wonder what like. I love the hype videos.
What's his name? Oh no, Michigan people are gonna come at me for this. He does the voiceover. I think he was like some voice in Star Wars or something. I don't know, but he does our voiceover for the hype up videos, and then national anthem, and then we have 3 jets fly over the stadium every time too. So
that's really cool. We don't have that.
I feel like I'm about to go play. It's amazing.
So do you have season tickets for the games, or do you like to go on the field for them as well?
I did have season tickets all 4 years, but we have, I'm sure you have something similar. We have something called Wolf TV, which is like a student run. There's a bunch of different shows. It's like a student run network that all online now. It used to be different, but now it's all just, content made for online. So I was a part of Sports Night this year. And then my friend was a producer for Wolverine Women, which is an all women ran sports network, a sports show that they hosted. So I was able to go on the field a couple times and help her with some content. Oh my gosh, and that is just unreal as well, because they get photographers and videographers really good access on the field. We can really go to either in this end zone at the end of each quarter. So that was just to be down there and see what the players see. It's amazing.
It's unreal, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss that a lot. I don't know if I'll ever have the chance to do that again.
Cool. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe there's maybe you get to work for Michigan for half a year and you see the football field again.
I know. I would. That's on the bucket list of my life, is to just go down there one last time.
I'm sure you can make that work. Even with BTN Student U, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They can hook you up. But so you guys had a really good baseball team last year. Like really made it to the College World Series. Like, were you did you like have to work with any of that, or were you just experiencing it as a fan?
Well, Student U, we cover when baseball season starts in March and a little bit into April. We work almost every baseball series. So I was there covering the team Friday. They would have a doubleheader Saturday and a game on Sunday. I was covering series after series after series of the baseball team last year. And actually one of my good friends was dating a K.O. Thomas, still is at the time. So it's really cool because being in student U, your peers and your friends with these athletes. So I was able to watch. I'm really good friends with Akeo, and I ended up becoming good friends with a lot of the team. And that was just such a fun team to watch because they're all great guys, and they're all just the chemistry that they had when they were playing, even before that postseason run. They were just such a fun team to watch, and it was amazing to see them go that far. And just you could tell them and Coach Baggage were just having so much fun with it, and they deserved it. I was so happy for them.
Yeah, that stuff is so cool. And like, I mean, they were in the Big Ten, so like, even though it wasn't my school, I still thought it was like awesome that someone got that far. Like, I guess like since school's out of session during that kind of whole College World Series, was there still people in Michigan for that, or what was going on with that?
I remember during the College World Series, I was still here. A lot of people take spring and summer classes here, and just how big the school is, there's bound to be students still around. So I remember watching the World Series. We're at the Brown Jug, which is one of our favorite bars in Ann Arbor. And it was always packed in there for those games. So there's definitely students still around going crazy and supporting the team. It was cool. I think baseball's never had like a moment like that. So
yeah, no, I couldn't. I don't remember the last time they were there, but like I don't remember the last time any Big Ten team was really there.
Right? Yeah, it was cool.
So I kind of want to. I'm sorry if I down you down or make you upset a little bit, but like senior year, like what are you gonna miss about it?
I've been taking my dog on walks around campus every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love Michigan's campus. Like we have beautiful buildings, like academic buildings, but it's mixed in really well with the city of Ann Arbor, which I love. It's just been such a fun time. You can party and go crazy. You can really focus on academics. You can make art. You can get into sports. Like I feel like it's such a well-rounded university, and you can get what you put in out of it. And I think the thing that I'm going to miss the most, though, is the athletics. It's just.
Well, I mean, Michigan always has good sports, so I mean, there's always some.
I'm always going to be a fan, but it's going to be different when I'm not sitting in the bleachers or sitting up in the press box for every game.
That's actually really cool. So, how do you? I'm going to ask you, how did you feel ending so early? During this whole quarantine, because me personally, when I did it, honestly, I don't even know what was going through my mind at that time. I was like kind of mad actually over anything.
I remember it happening so fast because our spring break was right before. I think we had 2 more days of class right after spring break. Like it just happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we were actually setting up in the baseball stadium to cover the weekend series, their opening home series for this season. And I was just so focused on getting things set up, getting our crew ready for baseball. We actually had someone from Big Ten Network come in, and they were going to do baseball training with us. So I was so focused on that I was like, Michigan's not going to cancel. We don't even cancel when there's 10 feet of snow. We're not going to, no way, And then I kind of realized how serious it was. And then it just, it's like you said, I don't even think it's hit me yet because I haven't left Ann Arbor. So that I think when I move out of here, that's when it's going to be like, okay, it's really over. It's weird for seniors because we don't have
we don't have another year. We're not. Yeah, it was. My teacher had us write a journal entry the other day about like when did it really hit us, and like I was like kind of content with like everything going on, and then I was writing that paper. I was like, why do you have to do this to us? Like I was like, I'm like really mad. Like my roommate, when we would walk, like our roommate or I guess he has like a bunch of like vinyls on like his wall, and like he just decorated his whole side up. But like as soon as I walked back in there after, because I came back from spring break and then went during this whole quarantine thing, and so like when I went to go kind of clean up some stuff, his wall was just blank, like plain white canvas, and I was actually mad over anything. I was like, why? Like why does this have to happen?
I know, it's really sad.
Yeah,
and like
I mean,
my friends, I'm sure you have friends moving back to far away. I have friends moving back to California and New Jersey, and it's like we're like, okay, we'll see you in a couple weeks. We don't know. It's that thing that sucks too, is like when we don't know when it's gonna end.
Yeah, and that's exactly what sucks. So you had spring break before. I'm sorry, did you have spring break before the week of this whole thing?
Right before, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I mean, yeah, that's another thing. Like, you don't have closure either. Like, you didn't have like a last final goodbye in a way.
Yeah, and I remember I had a few good friends who were seniors last year, and they just had the best last 2 months of college. And you
Hmm.
know, you say your goodbyes, and you know those friends you have in class, but you don't really hang out with, but you see
Yep.
them every day, and they're your homie for 3 years, and that's what hits me. Those are people I might not ever see again.
Yeah, and you're 100% right, and I definitely relate to that a lot. Like, it's actually really upsetting. I mean, you still have decorations, it looks like, on your walls. So, like, I feel
Yeah.
like when you take those down, that's when it's gonna happen for
Yeah, and
you.
I've been in this place. I lived in the dorms freshman year, but I've been in this place for 3 years, so
Oh,
it's really a home to me. So it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
yeah, it's actually funny. You said you have friends who live in California. I have one friend who's from California. He's from LA, but he actually has not left like the area yet. Like, it's pretty funny, but I don't know when he's gonna go back. But I don't know. I feel like we need one final goodbye with everyone.
Yeah.
That's what definitely is needed. But I wanted to ask you. So, do you guys do Zoom classes as well?
Yeah, we're using do you guys use Canvas?
Yes, we have
Yeah,
Campus.
we do like a Canvas has a chat, but it's not video, so it's just voice. But I've been doing that for my Spanish class, and then we've been using Blue Jeans too. Um,
Okay.
I've been using Zoom with my friends, so I like it a lot better than.
Yeah, I like Zoom a lot more. But how you doing with Spanish class with all this? I feel like that's hard.
It is weird because majority of the class is group work, like practicing in Spanish. So you get put into like these chat rooms with 2 or 3 other people, and you're just sitting there in your home like, hola. It's not the best. I'm not getting too much out of it, I won't lie, but
No, I finished Spanish 3 last semester, and like I'll never do that again. Like, it was so
it's so hard.
hard.
I struggle so bad, but luckily all of our stuff is pass fail now, so I think I'll be okay.
I did hear about the pass fail system. Luckily, I don't have to be in that situation because like I don't have. Oh, look at the doggy!
So,
Look at it! What a stud!
Maisie, come here. Hang on, let me get it.
No, it's all good.
Stop barking. Maisie, say go blue to Mr. Penn State.
We'll train him to say we are.
Oh gosh, nah.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. So you told me something interesting when like I first was like trying to like set this up, that but like Michigan doesn't have like a defined like journalism school, I guess. So I found that like really cool. So like how, like, why did you want to get involved with all this? And like, was this like when you first went in, like you said with sports, is that kind of what made you get into this? Or I'm curious.
I think that in the back of my mind, ever since I was little, I would always, see Aaron Andrews on TV, and I'm like, that is so cool. I've always been big into football. I would watch football with my dad every weekend. I always watched the Big Ten Network, and Loki used to be a Michigan State fan.
Oh, we'll cut that. We'll cut the clip. Cut the clip.
But yeah, I've followed Big Ten sports my whole life. Like I said, before college, I played volleyball and softball my whole life. So I think in the back of my mind, I always thought it was really cool and kind of like a dream job, but I kind of pushed it out because I thought it was unrealistic. But then being involved with Student U and just seeing the opportunities that they would give students that are, 19 to 22 years old, and giving them the responsibility to interview these amazing coaches and players, that kind of made me realize that, if they're giving this responsibility to me at this age, maybe it's not so unrealistic. That's kind of the mindset I'm still in. But yeah, most of my work has been behind the scenes. I really enjoy directing broadcasts and producing broadcasts. My friend Grace and I were the executive producers at Michigan this past year, so most of my work has been behind the camera. And even that, that gives you the opportunity to tell a story and, make a hero. Here she goes. Make a hero of the game, highlight, their hometown, highlight their history, highlight their stats. And that's what I love about watching sports, is every game is new and not scripted, and every player is a real person and they're not acting. it's just so real and entertaining to me.
That's so cool. So like you said, with this whole, you always wanted to make a podcast in the back of your head, like since last year, but like, was like, what kind of like pushed you to just finally just go for it?
The time that I have on my hands now, to be honest. And honestly, something's always kind of been holding me back. Like I said, in the back of my head, it's like, what are people going to think of it? What are people going to think of me? Am I going to say a wrong sports fact and then have all these guys come at me, you know?
What a jerk.
Yeah, like I kind of had to put that all aside and just be confident, like you know enough and you have the time, so just do it. And enjoy it. So why not?
That's actually really cool you say that, because that's like, that was a thing, that was my thinking like going into this, because like, I mean, this is only 10 episodes and honestly I don't know wherever this will go, but I always thought like, you know, what maybe people might be thinking, but I feel like my time at Penn State, like doing this, you know, with Student U and all, I was like, you know what, I shouldn't care, like
Right.
like one of the best. I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like with Student U too, I'm sure you feel like I was able to step out of my comfort zone and kind of push to step out of my comfort zone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's always going to be people, you know, questioning, especially, I don't mean to pull this card, but like as a girl, questioning your sports knowledge and questioning, why am I getting this interview or why am I able to direct this game? But I think it's important, especially like as a woman in sports, to be confident in your knowledge and get out of your comfort zone. It's fun.
Oh, 100%. Like my personal belief on all that is, if you can kick ass, then I don't care what you are. Like if you're good at it, you're good, you know?
Yeah, some guys have a hard problem admitting that.
Really?
Oh.
Well, that's interesting. But anyway, so like one thing that, like, I don't know if this maybe help you, but like one piece of advice that I like got told maybe last year, I want to say, is like, what others think of you doesn't matter. Like if you keep thinking about that, like I just love that. Like it's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like good for them. Like if they want to make fun, that's on their time.
Right.
But
yeah.
So how did you decide on your name, Gameday? That's pretty cool.
Well, my last name is Day, so that was kind of easy.
Mm-hmm.
But my original idea, I have a really funny group of friends here at Michigan, and you know me, like I know enough about sports, but I'm not an expert. And you know, I have a few other friends who are the same as me. I have a few that are experts and, you know, really know the ins and out of technicalities of everything and the names of the parents of all the players, that type of expert. But then I have friends who don't know anything, like, and the basic rules of football or basketball, you know.
Just tell them a touchdown is a home run in football.
Right, like that type of stuff, or what's the first down, that type of stuff. So my original idea was to have me, an expert girl who knows a lot, and then one of my friends who doesn't know anything, and almost like commentate a game. And I thought it would just be hilarious, because I've heard my friends' commentary who don't know what they're talking about at all. And it's hilarious. It's so entertaining. And my goal eventually is for it to be kind of like a welcoming platform for girls to listen to, because you can be 22 years old and not followed sports your whole life, but want to get into it. And it's intimidating to sit there and watch, you know, Sports Center or listen to other podcasts of people who are just diving into it, you know? So I think it's a fun way to just like welcome a bigger crowd in to people who want to know more about sports. And my friends are just so funny. So I think that was my original idea, but now it's more of like the history about the quarantine. But I hope we can get back to that, because I sat and watched the Super Bowl with my friends and I have never laughed harder in my life.
That is awesome. Were they in love with Patrick Mahomes?
Yep, they all DM'd him after.
No way. Did he respond to anybody?
They asked him how's life in Kansas.
That's such a great.
It's hilarious.
What about Jimmy Garoppolo? Did they ever talk to him?
Oh.
So like, how do you promote yourself? Because like for me, I feel like it's so hard to promote yourself, like with such like a little audience, and that time will grow. But like, how do you promote yourself? I'm curious.
So that's where like the 1 year of me being in the art school helps a lot, because I had a lot of experience with graphic design. And I actually had an internship my sophomore year with CBS television, and it was a big marketing internship, and we had to come up with a big marketing plan to grow the demographic of like our given show. So mine was like Inside Edition, and my whole study was to grow it to a younger demographic. So I have a little bit of experience with that. But I just think like branding is super important. I know you've seen the BTN Student U Instagram. Like that's some like just anything to get the word out. I think like having like cool stories as your post on Instagram just to catch people's eyes if they listen to your podcast or not, just to kind of get the name out there. I'm still learning as I go. I don't really know either, but it's more of like again, like with the podcast, I think like the graphic design and like the marketing going with it is a hobby as well. So it's just something I'm having fun with, but I think the Instagram has definitely helped bring a little bit bigger of an audience. What I don't have a huge audience, but
come on, you have millions of views. Let's not sell yourself short here.
No.
But yeah, that's kind of what I've been figuring out right now. Like, how could I make these more interesting, and like, what could I do? Because like right now, currently, like my editing, like my friend helps me because I don't have the proper equipment at all. Like I'm just sitting here like.
Yeah, we don't have a journalism school, like you said. So all of my experience has been in like, I'm in production, so I've taken classes on, you know, editing in Premiere and editing audio and, you know, making graphics. Like that's my background, where like you probably ask the better questions and get the better content. I'm the other way around, where everything that we've done with Student U, everything that I'm doing now is all self-taught, which is
impressive, very impressive.
Scary. It's scary because I'm probably doing nothing right.
Premiere, I feel like once you get the hang of it a little bit, it's fine, but it's there's still so many things that I want to learn about it because it's so hard. But I mean, that's very impressive to be doing that all self-taught, because like it's not easy doing this. Like, I mean, as much as like people could be like, oh, I could do that, but like it's hard, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, I try. And yeah, Student U has given us all in my crew some good reps and some good feedback from BTN. But yeah, I would die to take a class of, you know, sports broadcasting or just something about being on air and how to present yourself, because I have never technically learned what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, for sports broadcasting, I feel like I haven't had much of that. I think it's just more because like people like want to focus a lot on like news and television, like you know, like local news. So, like that's kind of like the stuff I got, but like it comes with time. It's very hard, but like I feel like eventually it comes with time. But yeah. So I said, do you travel a lot? I'm curious.
I do. I like I said, I kind of hinted to it earlier, but ever since I've had that internship my sophomore year in LA, I've been kind of flying back and forth to do weekend work there. So that's definitely the place I travel the most is LA, and that's where I want to be one day. But I did a study abroad trip this past summer, which was awesome too. I was in Barcelona, and then did a weekend in Paris, and then I was in Greece for 2 weeks after that. So that I love to travel. That's one of my goals, is to see and do as many new things as I can. So not yet, not the biggest traveler yet, but I want to be.
That's actually really cool because me personally, like before my spring break trip, like I hardly traveled at all. Like if anything, it was for baseball tournaments, like up the East Coast, but that's it. But like usually, but like my biggest one so far was my spring break cruise. It went from Key West to Mexico and like then back.
Nice.
It was very, very weird, but like it's just because like everything was just so different traveling. Like it was my first like plane ride. Like that was weird.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
I was like a little kid giggling though. It was great.
Were you scared?
No, actually, I was told because my friend up the street from me, because I live in development, so he lives up the street. We're like, you know, so close. But he was like, he hates airplanes, but he's telling me like it's gonna suck, all this stuff. But like I was in love. Like it reminded me of like a roller coaster.
I'm like I don't know why. I guess I'm lucky, but I cannot stay awake on planes.
Really?
As soon as we take off, I'm out, and I am woken up by the stewardess when it's time to get off sometimes. So
that is perfect though.
I guess. Yeah.
No, that's really cool because like so I don't know what my second plane ride will be like, or my third because I went back and forth, but the first going there, like I was just looking out the window the whole time, and I was like actually trying to pick out every baseball field I saw. Like I was like into
Yeah,
that.
isn't it cool?
It's
Crazy.
so cool. But then coming back, I fell asleep. I was over it.
So when I
But
would go to LA, I would fly in normally on a Thursday, and production are like 12-hour days. So
mhm.
January I went to work the Golden Globes, and then
No
February I
way.
worked the Oscars. So
That's really cool.
thanks. Yeah, that was so fun. That's like a side of things that I don't really talk about too much, but like that's in my head for career options too. But I would fly there, work 12 or 13 hours, 3 days in a row, then wake up at 6 a.m. and come right back. So I was going like 4 days with the time change, with like probably 10 hours of sleep total, and then coming back and going to class. It was
How are
exhausting.
you able to handle all that? Like that's actually kind of cool.
I really don't know how I did it this year, but I
Well,
felt like it was good to keep my connections out there, so that's why I did it. So
oh, 100%. So like, did you like meet like any actors or actresses or any of that?
um I've met a few. Yeah, I've met I was working with the E shows, like the
Yep.
live from the red carpet, what you watch before the award show, like interviewing everybody on the red carpet. So I've run into like Ryan Seacrest and what's her name, Juliana Rancic a couple times. I did work the iHeartRadio. My favorite person I've ever met. I worked the iHeartRadio Music Awards in 2018 or 19. And I ran into Billie Eilish on the stairs.
No way.
And that was before, I used to like her when she was not as famous as an artist before this past album came out. I don't mean to sound like that, but like I loved her. And I'm like, oh, Billie Eilish. And she's like, she was so nice. She was like everything I could have wanted and more. And I was just like, I was actually bringing Diet Cokes to the director. So I had like a handful of Diet Cokes like this. I'm like, Billie Eilish, and she's like, oh, like you got Diet Cokes? I'm like, yeah. Do you want one? Like, and she's like, I'm a huge fan. Like, thanks for giving me the time. And she's like, I love you. Insane.
Well, she's younger than us, so I feel like she'd be
I
so
know.
chill.
She was like six. She was like 16, and I'm
Yeah,
like
she has to be.
fangirl. I'm like, ah.
That is hilarious.
And you're totally not, because you're working backstage and stuff. You walk past people all the time, and you're not supposed to interact. She saw me kind of making eye contact with her, and so she like engaged. She started the conversation. So like I was just, a PA is like the lowest of the low on set. So for her to give me the time of day, it was insane.
That's actually really cool. So
Yeah.
how did you get involved with that internship then? I don't know if you explained that really.
So this is actually like the craziest story. I was working with CBS in LA, and they were out of Santa Monica. And I was living there with a couple other students who went to Santa Monica College that I just like met on Facebook. And my aunt is from California as well. So on my bucket list that summer was to go paddleboarding. So one of my aunt's friends was doing this Paddle for the Planet charity thing. You like do paddleboarding and pick up the trash, and it's like all the money goes to the charity. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna sign up and do it. I show up there, and it's all middle-aged women my aunt's age and me, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna do it. I didn't know anyone. So then they start pairing people up to do paddleboard yoga. Mind you, I've already fallen in the ocean 3 times because I don't know how to paddleboard. And I'm like, now I have to do yoga, and I don't know anyone here. I'm kind of freaking out. And this lovely, lovely woman comes up to me and is like, hey, like, what are you doing here? I live in Santa Monica. If you ever just want to grab a coffee, I know like LA is a big city. So nice. Then we get to talking a little bit more. And she's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm a film student. I'm interning with CBS. And she's like, oh, do you want to come work the MTV Movie and TV Awards this weekend? I'm like,
yeah.
what? So I was like, yes, of course. So I walk on set, and I thought that she would be like a writer or, a producer or something. She was the AD of the entire show. So
no way.
I'm like the most humble, amazing woman ever. Like, you've probably seen directors who are, how they can be, but she's just took me under her wing completely. Her name is Liz Zanine. She's amazing. So yeah, I just kind of worked my tail off at that show, and I just kind of networked there and have met people, and they've given me more and more opportunities. But yeah, Liz was my paddleboard buddy, was the reason I was able to get into those award shows, which is still probably the craziest story that I have today.
That's really cool. I mean, definitely take advantage of those opportunities, you know, like
Sorry if that was long, but I thought it was worth telling.
I feel like that's so worth telling. That's really cool, because like I feel like stuff like we get into, like it just kind of falls there. Like for me with like how I even got involved with ESPN, it just happened because the guy I was working for, he knew somebody who emailed him, was like, I need a worker, and he's like, you want to work the whiteout for Penn State Ohio State? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then that's just how it happened. It's so weird, like those type of stories. But what type of advice would you give anyone who's traveling? I mean, just the places you've been. I feel like, I mean, I would like to learn something. Like I would love to travel.
I think like traveling in general, pack as light as you can. That's like I've learned that from my aunt, but I have like a carry-on that just shove as much as you can in there and try to go without checking a bag. It just saves so much time and stress and energy of packing and unpacking. Mm-hmm. I've become really good at packing light, which is, I'm very proud of that. But I think just be open. I've traveled by myself so many times. I moved to Barcelona by myself for that month, and I think just to be open-minded, and if you're traveling internationally, don't think of language as a barrier, even if you're not good. There's ways to communicate. I talk to people via Google Translate in Greece, like passing the phone back and forth. And I've met some people that I still, keep in contact with. Don't just be open-minded. Don't do the touristy things, of course, but do the things that you kind of see the locals doing too. And that's why I was lucky to spend more than, like a week in Barcelona. I was there for a month and a half. So I was able to do the touristy things, which are amazing, and see the monuments and things like that. But then I was able to explore like the local restaurants and local bars and the places where, more of the people who live there go. So it's always cool to immerse yourself.
Is there a fun food that you like absolutely enjoyed that you had no idea about?
Oh gosh. I think like paella. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of that. I don't know if I ever had it. I don't remember that.
It's so good. It's like a rice plate kind of in Spain, and I don't even know what they do, but they put like seafood in, vegetables, and it just simmers, and you like scoop it out. So good.
That's actually really cool. So the last couple of questions I have here, just more of advice. So one is with you. So like if you can, before you went to college, if you can give any advice to yourself, like before you enter college, and like if you can give your advice like now, like what would it be?
I think like going back to what we were talking about earlier, I kind of come from a small town where I don't want anyone to get in trouble listening to this, but like my high school counselor told me not to waste money applying to Michigan. So like really? That's the kind of place that I kind of come from. Mm-hmm. And I just wish like if anyone from my high school can hear this, or if I was that age, I would just say shoot for what you want. Like my aunt wanted to take me on a tour of Michigan, and I didn't want to let her because I'm like, I'm going to love it and I'm not going to be able to get in. Like that was my attitude. Like I'm not good enough for this. I'm not good enough for that. So I think that it's important to like have confidence as a senior or junior in high school going into college. And if you see, I remember looking up to just a few girls at Michigan, Danny Rogers and Emily Heidel. Danny did work with BTN Student U when I was in high school. And now she does stuff with ESPN Plus. She does stuff in the city of Toledo. She's a badass. She's awesome. And I think like look up to those people and be like, I can do that too, and reach out to them, because I've reached out to her and I've reached out to Emily Heidel. She worked with Big Ten as well. Now she's the host of the LA Dodgers. Yeah, so it's like reach out to people, and if you're like enthusiastic and passionate about something, they're gonna love to hear, like, give you advice and take you under their wing. And I'm sure you've learned that too.
No, it's honestly, I learned like that type of advice. Like, don't be scared to do something. You know, like I'm currently my mindset right now is like I would love a job where I can be on TV or camera and like travel. Like I just love to travel now. Like I want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
but but like doing that stuff, like yeah, that's really cool advice. 'Cause you're right. I mean, don't be afraid. Like especially like don't listen to someone else. Like listen to the good advice, like like positive advice. But like sometimes some advice is not. Come on,
Yeah.
don't be saying that stuff.
If I would have listened to a few people that told me that I could never get into Michigan, don't waste the money applying, or my aunt who forced me to come here on a tour and said, you're going to apply, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't be here today. So, like, do what you want, even if you don't get it, there's always another option.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever heard of the show. It's called Entourage, but Vinny Chase is like the main character. He's like the actor that like everyone loves and whatnot. His main quote, and I absolutely love it, is "It'll all work out. It always does." Like just know it's gonna happen and just shoot for it. Take every opportunity you possibly can.
Yeah, I think if you're doing something that you're passionate about, and if, let's say I didn't get the job with BTN Student U, I probably would have dove in with Wolf TV, and it'll lead you to the same place as long as you're passionate and willing to learn and following what you love. If you hate math, don't go into accounting for the money. If you love
accounting's terrible. I hate accounting.
Oh, I would never.
I did one class. I'll never do it again.
I've heard terrible things.
So besides just like that type of stuff, do you have any other advice for anyone maybe who wants to get into the business or just anything in general that you can like kind of that you feel like would be cool right now?
I think that I'm not really in. I guess I was in the business, but I'm not really in the business. But
Not yet.
yeah,
Almost.
if you like what me and you are doing, if you guys are inspired and have ideas of things that you want to say, we're in the year 2020. You have Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple,
TikTok.
Do it. Like, put yourself out there, and even if nothing becomes of it now, you never know like what you're going to need for a reel or what employers are going to look at. So just if it's meaningful to you, and I've learned this, Danny Rogers is doing like an advice, I don't even know, she's going on every day and kind of giving advice, like a mentorship program. And she said content is all about research, preparation, and like passion, something like that. So if you're passionate about it, and if you have enough to prepare and you're excited to tell a story, just get on and tell it. There's nothing stopping you. And if you're a girl, you know enough. Be confident.
I love it. That's awesome. So is there anything you want to add? Anything that you want to think of that you want to add? It's up to you.
I don't think so. I think this was super cool. Thank you for having me on.
No problem.
I want to ask you, like, what is your favorite? Let's go with favorite Penn State memory. I need to hear.
Oh, a Penn State memory.
Penn State memory, and then atmosphere for your football games.
Okay, so my favorite Penn State memory. That's actually a good question. I don't know. I won't want to say like going to the the bar having fun with my friends or anything. I rather.
Those are always great memories.
Those are always some fun memories. But I think honestly, like working the football game with I worked with Maria Taylor. I was like, she told me that. I mean, maybe I forced it out of her to say it, but like I was her favorite worker along with my other friend.
You said message her.
I did. She never messaged me back. Both whiteouts she came. I messaged her right after. I was like, thank her, but like she's busy. I get it. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I think those are my top memories. Just like learning from her and like being a part of the whiteout like that. I could show you videos and all, but like I took videos like before like the game with Michigan. And my friend, so my friend Hunter Kelly, I just had an episode with him where he played for Penn State.
Yeah.
And like he was like, you see stuff on TV like the whiteout and like the atmosphere, but it doesn't do it justice. Like you have to be there for one. Like with the fans and whatnot. They do get a little rowdy, and it's like I just feel like I felt honestly so cool like just being on the sideline. Like that is probably like the coolest feeling I could say, like just like I love just looking around and just seeing all white. Like it is so cool. I don't know if there's really anything else I can really think of at this point, but yeah, you definitely got to come down to Penn State, a Penn State game. I'll come to a Michigan game. You come to a Penn State game.
All right. I gotta wear my Mason blue though. Look, I'll wear white if it's a whiteout. No,
you could wear Mason blue because they're in Michigan. They're in that game. There was a lot of people saying go blue, and I loved it. I just loved like people like fighting like that.
Yeah. They're always gonna be there.
I absolutely loved it. I'm not going to mention his name, but I do have a really good friend who absolutely loves Michigan but goes to Penn State.
Hey, whoever you are.
One of his big dreams is to go to Ann Arbor. He wants to see like the field. He wants to go there and just experience it.
Yeah, you got to come for a game day. It doesn't even matter if it's like, no offense, but like Rutgers or something. Or even
no, it's all good.
Somebody out of there's always more than 100,000 people. It doesn't even have to be a big game. And I'm sure that's for you guys too.
Yeah, if everything's over 100,000, that's what I really love about it. Like they have like if you think about it, like the Super Bowl isn't even 100,000. Like
it's just weird. It's weird to think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why us? But I'll take it.
That's all good. I'm not complaining. But I think I told you I also tried to apply, or I also did apply to that BTN the thing in Chicago. So possibly if we both get the job, we'll see each other in person.
Yeah, how crazy would that be?
That'd be cool. But we could do another podcast then.
Yeah, seriously.
But here's my outro. This has been Out on a Limb. Take a branch, maybe do something different, or just be yourself. Peace.
Yay.